Okay. Is that okay?
Yeah, I think that's the best.
Okay.
It's best that way. It's better that way.
Okay. 2 seconds. I'm just going to actually go on Do Not Disturb because I could get some emails coming through. So I want to silence everything.
That's fine.
Okay, but yes. Can you see me now?
Yes, being the first in anything is never easy. Whether the first to achieve, the first to go through a test, the first to break a rule, or the first to start something. However difficult being the first is, someone somewhere always have to be the first in something. A lot of time, those who dare to break boundaries are the ones to be the first. And when it comes to things like, politics, commerce, and leadership, the general belief is that without breaking boundaries, women can hardly, have a place for themselves in these areas. I am delighted to be back on this show on the 1st of March, which incidentally is the month we celebrate the International Women's Day. And with that, I welcome you to yet another episode of Women in Action, WinAction. And if it's the first time you're joining the show, Women in Action, WinAction is an acronym, just like I've said it, of the word women in action, but it actually means much more than that. It's talking about women who in their everyday lives and things they do, they are winners. They are winning things. They are daring to break boundaries. And today I am super delighted, to be honest, to be hosting a woman who dared to break the boundaries and is doing something and able to achieve the feat of being the first in something. So, and like I said, with that, I want to welcome you to the show today. I have with me today a woman that I actually really, really admire. And it's very interesting that she's my sister from another part of the world in terms of origin, but we are the same in terms of where we live, who we are, and the things that we do. I'm so delighted to welcome to my show today, Councillor Rakia Ismail. Assalamu alaikum. Hello, Councillor. How are you?
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And
I did that deliberately. On this show, it's not an Islamic show, and usually I will not start with salam alaikum, but I just wanted to do that for a reason. I'm going to get to that reason. Anyway, so Sister Rakia Ismail is a multi-award winning British Somali local politician in Islington, a committed grassroots community activist, and by profession, a fashion, textile, and shoe designer. Anyway, you see you see why I'm excited. She is the mother of young adults and got involved in politics through arts in the community by giving a voice to the voiceless as arts, they say, speaks volume. To engage and encourage voiceless communities, Sister Rakia, or Councillor Rakia, is a natural campaigner of social justice, youth crime, inequality, and she likes to bring attention to all kinds of inequalities. She is the first Somali female politician in the UK to become a councillor. So you understand where my talk about first, is coming from. I'm so happy to have you on the show, Sister Rakia. So how are you today?
Alhamdulillah, and thank you so much. And I'm so delighted to be here with you, and thank you for inviting me, Women in Action. I think that the word says it all in one. Exactly. And I'm trying to recognize this woman you just described.
Yes, you are that woman, and that's why I'm that's why I'm always excited, to be on this show, because it's about talking about people, that we would say are ordinary people, but they are doing extraordinary things. And I'm so happy that you were able to, bring out this time out of your very, very busy schedule to be here with me and to share with us and inspire more women to do things that, they dream about and they want to achieve. So we're just going to go straight to the point. With my question, my first question is, if I was to meet you outside, I've never met you before, and I say, please, ma'am, may I know you? What would you say to me?
If you are a Muslim person, I would say Assalamu alaikum. Of course, you would know me. If you are non-Muslim, I say, of course, you would know me. And how are you today? How is your day? And just light conversation, really.
Yeah. And what would you tell me about yourself?
What would I tell you about myself? I can say, I suppose, a lot. And I can say a little as well. Depends on the occasion.
Okay, I am interested. I want to know a lot. So, okay. Yes, I want to know a lot about you.
My name is Raki Ismail, as you described me. I am someone who is quite upfront, straightforward, never shy away from what I think that I should say, in my opinion. I hate injustice. I hate inequality. And I like to speak on issues that are not being really discussed enough. I like to empower women. And I said women, but particularly everyone, really. But in my case, I like to empower women. And when I say women, of course, particularly ethnic minority women, Muslim women, but all women. I think we have all something in common, women, which is that we have not been given the opportunities that we all deserve, whatever background we come from. It's always the boys, the men who get more than we do. And we have this idea of women that we are shy, we don't ask, and we don't value our work. So for me, I learned along the way as I came into the UK, started studying and went into politics, community activism. I started learning about myself better. And as I start learning about myself better, I start realizing, as a matter of fact, I'm not valuing my life, as much as
let me come in there, man because you've said, some very interesting things that actually made me wanted to have this conversation with you. You talked about women not always having all the opportunities like the men or the boys. You talked about the fact that not knowing, what you're able to achieve, or not valuing yourself. And also you talked about the fact that, okay, you went into politics, and you remember I deliberately said Salaam alaikum to you. So there is a reason I said that. And one of the reasons is the question I'm going to ask you now.
Okay.
You are a Muslim woman in Hijab, right? bringing you on this show because I've brought a lot of phenomenal women also who, you know, use the hijab. Perhaps people will not be so surprised that I'm discussing something outside of religion with you. But the usual thing is when people see women in hijab, it's usually about, or they are either talking about religion or talking about their children and their husband. That is it. But you went into politics, right? How did you come about that?
Well, to be honest, I am someone, I would say, quite inquisitive. And I often ask questions. And because I was community activist and I was delivering projects for Muslim women, actually, and then later on in life, I widened the scope, but particularly Muslim women. And you are put into this category that you're supposed to be just staying at home, cooking, cleaning, and taking care of your children and husband. And my idea of a woman is totally different. My idea of woman is she's a mother. She has a huge stake in the future because of her children. And I think mothers or women in general, they have to be confident enough and asking what they need to do better, so they are equipped for this world of work, and that their offsprings are also equally equipped, so they have a role model. So for me, I went into politics, and as I often ask questions, everything goes into deaf ear, and I was really annoyed. And I'm thinking, like, you know, we can contribute so much to the British life that we are not given. And to be honest, I discovered that soon after I left university, and I discovered lots of these women come from different parts of the world. They used to work, they have skills, they have ideas to get their life better, but they are just being told, oh, you just learn English. And I have to be honest, learning English is great.
Did you know, were you speaking good English before coming to the UK?
Not really. I was okay. But I have learned myself. But I learned with a skill, because learning English itself is so dry and boring. But if you have been given a skill, like if you want to, you know, become maybe a fashion designer, an artist, or you want to become a tailor, if you want to become even an engineer, you can always take English as on a side. And that's what I was not happy with. So I said to the women, you know, you can have your own skills. And I had to do a skill bank for the women. And skill bank, I wanted to see each one, where they come from, what they have done, what part of life, and through there I could fit in. And I think that was the most important thing. And that's why we women have to go into politics, have to go into all sorts of all sorts of professions. So we are not behind. And that's what
can I ask you this question then? Usually there's always that concern that as a woman, because you've got all these multiple roles that you have to play. You are a mother, you are a wife, some people say, and it's not, I don't think it's wrong, and I don't think it's a joke, that even maintaining a home as a woman can be a full-time job. So a lot of time people really feel that, oh, because of this, it's never easy for a woman to want to pursue, you know, her dream and to want to pursue a career. So how did you find that path? I
think it's all about balance. It is, of course, you're 100% right, alhamdulillah, that it's difficult as it is just to maintain home. But it's all about really organizing yourself. It's all about what do you want out of life? Because if you really don't have ambition or aspiration, everything will be, you know, you'll have everything in front of you.
Were you always ambitious?
I wouldn't say I would be, as I studied and I moved on in life and I started working actually with ethnic minority women, my ambition came true. And I think that's important.
So, I mean, I guess maybe what I mean is this: were you always this driven to
Yeah, I
achieve
was
something?
indeed. I was.
You've always wanted to, achieve something, and you've always gone for it? Or were there
Yeah,
times that you actually felt like, no, I don't think I'm cut out for this, I wouldn't be able to do it? Were there times that you've thought like that? And
yeah,
if
there
there
were
were
many
times that you thought
occasions.
like that, how
Yeah,
did you?
there were some occasions. Of course, as a woman, you tend to have doubts now and again, and I think that's natural. And I did have that in the past. But as I have pushed myself, and you have to make yourself, you have to have a positive attitude in life. Because
Yeah.
if you don't have positive attitude in life, and also see the surrounding of people you are with, that also will have either a negative or positive impact. So you need to always, I mean, myself, I need to always, look around me, and also not just look around me, but to have that positive attitude. But in terms of ambitious, as I got older and as I got more positive, I realized that you can, the only thing that would ever stop me is my fears, and I say that to every woman.
That the only thing that can stop you is your fears. How are you scared of taking action, of taking a leap, of doing something about what you want? So you
Yeah,
need to be
yeah,
able to suppress and be able to overcome that fear. Yeah,
yeah.
that's interesting.
I have come over many fears,
Mm,
and those fears, I wouldn't 100% say fears, but it's doubts. I suppose it's the same thing. And it's those doubts that, oh, maybe I'm not suited, maybe I'm not good enough, as one often wonder. And I said to myself, you know what, just try. And by the sheer fact of trying, have really surprised me many times. And unless we try, it's impossible to know your strengths and your skills. And another things that, often you will have other people around you who will encourage you, and then many others who would also dampen your
discourage.
So you need to always forget about those people who are going to dampen your spirit or give you doubts, and be in a positive attitude, because at the end of the day, we all humans. We have we can make mistakes, but the beauty thing about making the mistakes is to learn from it. Because if you don't learn, and if you do not have an open mind and a positive attitude, regardless of how difficult the task is, you're going to fail.
Yeah, and that would lead me to my next question before we go for a very short break, and I hope you will be able to answer that before we go for the break. And
Okay.
see, when you talk about one of the reasons that people feel that women should not be cut out for certain profession or certain aspects or field of work or field of life is because they feel that women are not so strong, they can't take the pressure, they can't take the when it comes to having to be very strong-minded and be able to stand your ground and all that women are weak, so to speak, in this aspect. Now you've gone into politics. Politics is not a child's play. And recently I don't want to dabble into political discussions and everything, but you've done things in your life as a politician which would come up with backlash, with people accusing or saying, oh, why did she have to do that? The recent one, you're cross-partying from one political party to the other and all that. These are very controversial things that would require a lot of mental strength and maybe physical strength. How were you able to cope in that situation? And
Well, I
how
think
are you coping? Because I guess you're still in it.
I think mental strength is very important. The thing about politics, it's not, as you mentioned, a child's game, and it's not for the tender-hearted. You are, and there's no script, or rule for politics. other than it's an idea and an ideology. And it's that idea and that ideology you want to get across to your colleagues, and make sure that it really thrives and people will approve it. Of course, it's not easy. I have, come across many difficult, moments in being even without, crossing a party. So it's very hard. But the fact of the matter is that in politics has no friend. If anybody tells you politics has friend, you are kidding yourself. So it's one of the loneliest, I think, profession one can do.
Yeah.
And you need to depend on your strength. You need to depend on the facts. And personally, for me, I needed to depend on not just only my husband and children, my family, but I have to actually, I'm going into an arena that I had absolutely no idea what I was going to be encounter. And at the same time, I have a large community of all background depending on me. And come rain, shine, they all come out to vote for me. And they have given me a mandate to speak on their behalf. And the fact that they have given me this mandate to speak on their behalf, I have to push myself to the limit to make sure that what I have been elected for has to be given the opportunity to these people who need, because there are many communities of all background who can speak for themselves. So the fact that I have been given this mandate gives me that, I have to take care of my well-being, because if you don't take care of your well-being physically and mentally, you're not going to be good to yourself and good to the people who elect you, or even your family, or just being well-being. So for me, it's, making sure that I do a lot of meditations as a Muslim woman. I do all my prayers and extras, and I do, swimming, exercise, physical exercise is really important, because you are in a fight in politics, and 24/7 you are fighting about, it's about the idea, it's about the ideology, and getting this across and staying on a top form is not a joke, but it's something that's worth doing it.
That's really very, very profound, to be honest. And on that note, we quickly take a very short break, one, and then we'll come back and we'll continue with the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, I did say it's a very short break. I hope you're back. I hope you didn't move away too much. Councillor Rakia? Okay, while we're waiting for her, maybe I will just take a break and okay, yeah, you're back.
I'm here.
Okay, that's really good. Yeah, the question somebody has put here for you, and it's actually related to a question I wanted to ask you too, and I think you've said something along that line, but it would be good to expatiate. Is how can one build confidence and strength to pursue a career in politics?
Well, I think the most important way you can pursue career in politics and also build confidence is you need to know about wherever you are standing to become a councillor or to become an MP, you need to know the real issues. If you do not know the issues, you will never be confident because you don't know what you're talking about. So I think the most important issue is you have to understand local issues, but also you have to convince yourself, are you the right person? Because there's many of you or similar. So what makes you cut?
What's your unique selling point?
Yeah. What makes you so different? And also in politics, what gives you confidence is like you need to be creative. In politics, a lot of people don't realize it, but for me as an artist and as a designer, very much my politics is my creativity. And that helps me because, you can, you'll have many stumbling blocks, but at the end of the day, you can, think differently, think outside the box. There's no formula, by the way, being a politician. The only formula is that you can always keep on changing and finding out solutions, talking to more people, understanding about issues, what's happening in your local school, become a school governor, understand about, the NHS, your local primary care, understand the local hospital. You can become a governor as well there. You can also become a, what you call, tenant resident association member and understand all these.
So you get involved in your community and in the things that are happening around.
And that's what will build your confidence in politics. And when you are wrapped up with all this information, you can debate out anyone, because often what happens, and I have seen in Islington, is that a lot of people, they are fresh from university, they're career politicians, so they just want to become an MP, they just want to become a councillor for 4 years and then step up to become an MP. To be honest, that's the wrong way, because there's no substance. And that's why we have so many mistakes happening in politics, because one needs to work with local organizations, local communities.
Understand the issues.
Yeah, and understand the issues. And that way you can find the confidence.
Since you became a councillor as the first Muslim Somali person to become a councillor, I'm sure there's been other people who are now, councillors, Muslims, possibly hijabis, and all that. So you've been able to like inspire others to want to go into politics. Now, talking about you as a person, and you're navigating the being a mother, a wife, and then a politician, a career politician, as well as now, or with alongside other things that you do. What is the support from home like? I know you've mentioned it, that you have the support, but are there times that there is conflict in your role in that your role as a politician and in all that to the home?
Yeah, to be honest, I just want to correct you a bit. I'm not a career politician. I consider myself more of a community politician, because that way, for me, I am in touch with my electorate.
So you don't intend to be a career politician?
No, career politicians often is a completely different thing, because they just finish university, straight into politics, and then move on. So it's slightly different. Yeah. Okay. The help at home is really amazing for me, alhamdulillah. When I decided first to become a local politician, or not a local politician, but wanted to stand as a candidate, I had a long chat with my husband and my children, and they all supported me. And it's not something I have done it before. So it was not easy in terms of getting into politics, because I didn't quite understand. It's one thing becoming a candidate, but it's another becoming a councillor, and it's another becoming also not just a councillor, but being in a big group that has got within them different divisions. That itself is a complicated. So for me, in the first 2 years, I just stick into, actually the first year, I just stick into the dynamics with the support of my family. And also, I'm somebody who's been used to multitasking, and someone who has been, very much involved in, organizing events and, community groups and quite organized. So that really helped me, because, when you become a local politician, you need to be really and a parent as well. you have to be very, very skillful, and not only skillful, but you need to be organized and flexible.
That's really good. We've talked about the backing from home, but for you to be a politician and be a successful one and be able to get into a position, you must definitely need to rally people around and be able to influence the thoughts of people about you. And so there is this question from someone in the panelists, in the audience, that how have you gathered, local support when you first started in politics? So how did you gather local support when you first started in politics? And if you have any advice to someone who is interested in politics but have not got any link at all at the moment?
Okay, there's two levels to politics. How did I get people to rally around me to either campaign for me or to vote for me? Well, I was, I got selected by just one vote within my ward. So I had absolutely no idea what I was getting into, but luckily I got in, and people vote for me. And people vote for me because, and rally around me because I had so much local knowledge. And it's that local knowledge that really helped me convincing people that I know what I'm talking about. And that itself is a huge help. Other ways is like lots of people will come and help you at the same time. If your friends, your network of friends, before you get selected. But when you get selected, it's a whole different ball game, because the party is investing in you. Therefore, the party will be campaigning with you. The party will be, working with you. You have a schedule of campaigns that you have to, you have to attend, and you have to campaign. That's one element. And maybe another element is when you become a councillor, it's again another different thing altogether. Because there you are, all these councillors who have been supporting you, campaigning with you, you are now one of them. But again, you are all campaigning against each other, because each one of you want to sit in certain committees, each one of you want to be the chair, each one of you want to have a position. And then again, that you need to rally around, colleagues. But before you rally around, you obviously set with number of committee meetings and debate out why certain issues are the way they are, or we could change with X and Y and Z. All these things really impact in your becoming a councillor or any politician.
Now let's go a step further. I just love these questions coming in. Thank you, Nada, for those beautiful questions. Now you just described, the relationship with other people within your political party. Now that question is, have you never, or how are you impacted by internal party politics in the things you do? You are supposed to be representing the interest of the community and all that.
Yeah.
But how does the internal party politics affect the way you are now able to do your work, and how to fight for? How do you fight for the interest of the local people you are representing?
Oh, at the moment, actually, it's that now I'm a different party.
Okay, regardless of which party now, you are in a party, whether it was an old one and a new one. Now, how do you navigate that?
Yeah, how I navigate, we meet with local residents, local issues, you pick things, they will be sending you emails regarding, or meeting them regarding about issues in the ward that they are not happy. So we have 3 ward councillors, we sit together and say, this is what needs to be done. And 1 or maybe 2 might be against you, but what I'm, do and quite good at is like when I see my colleagues are against, then I will rally the community and say, this is what we need to do. This is, if you guys come out, come rain, shine out for us, to vote for us, this is the least we can do. Ultimately, the residents who elect us are our bosses. So we should not be going on a party line or choosing this. These are the people who elect us. And, you know, for me, I hold no bar when it comes to the community. I speak out. And recently, actually, it happened. You know, there was a lot of...
You definitely are representing the local interest, and they are your boss because they put you there. But I think it's also very important for you. Is it always very important for you to be affiliated to a particular political party in order for you to be able to fulfill the local needs? And where do you draw the lines on compromising when
I think politics is always full of compromise. Sometimes your electorate will ask you something ridiculous. Sometimes and you may not agree 100%. Sometimes you might not agree with the political party that you are. So you need to balance of the debate, the argument, the issue, and see really who is right. And it's never, you know, to go blindfolded with the community, never to go blindfolded with a party. You need to use your logics. You need to believe in what is right. And often, if you are someone who can balance the argument, people will come your way. I mean, my colleagues came my way many times. I go on their side many times. Many times the community will come up with something that is not right, but you have to make them understand why you have to take what you had to do.
Yeah,
the same way.
And that's why I say that as a woman, for you to be doing this, you must be very strong. And you know, it's for you to be able to identify. You have to be mentally strong, physically strong, and emotionally strong too, because you need to be able to balance all these things. And with that, we just take a very short break. And then we'll be back to the next segment of the show, which is the one that I love the most, because I just like to put people in a corner where I say, okay, now you do this, and that's what I want you to do.
Okay.
So let's go for the break shortly, and then we'll come back. It's not going to be a very long one. Yeah. Yes, that's the Peg Your Achievement segment that we are welcome to now. And yes, what do I do in the segment of the show? I have got 3 questions that I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
Then I'm going to share my screen with a whiteboard, and you can type your answer into the whiteboard. So the first question, when I say Peg Your Achievement, it is the achievement where it is the segment where I want you and to help inspire every other person, every other woman, not only women, even men that are watching this show, you know, to do something and to be able to identify certain keywords that can inspire them to achieve their own dreams and aspirations too. So the Pega's achievement is about you telling me about your pain. What is that most painful thing that, you know, you would say as a woman, a politician, a fashion artist, designer, everything that you are, a mother, a wife, that you would think is the most painful experience that you've had. And, you know, just say what you think, how you think about it in either one word or in a phrase. So I'm going to put up the white screen now, and you can
I can type on.
Yes, you can type in what you want to say is the pain, the most painful experience that you have, and how you would describe it. So I'm going to put the type box here.
Okay.
So your pain, that's P, is your pain. Or you say it to me and I can type it, whichever is more convenient for you.
I think maybe I will say you can type it, because I can see my screen is very small. Leaving the Labour Party was the most pain.
Leaving the Labour Party. Interesting. Okay.
It's the most painful experience.
Okay. I like that. Interesting. Okay. So the other one is your empowerment. Now, what if you were to sit back and you were to reflect, what would you describe as the most empowering thing? Or what is that thing that if you sit back, you think, oh, I am indeed, empowered to be this way, or this is something that has really made me who I am. So what is that thing that has empowered you?
Becoming a local councillor.
Becoming a local councillor. Okay, let's see. So you're using phrases. You've not used any word. You're not a local councillor. Okay. Yeah, but you're getting me. That's fine. Becoming a local councillor. Yeah, and the gain. What is the gain? What has been, if you were to look back, what would be the thing that you would feel like, yes, this is my achievement. This is my gain.
Oh my God. I think empowering other women into politics.
You said what?
Empowering other women into politics.
Empowering other women. Okay.
Well, I could say empowering Somali women into politics. I think that's more appropriate.
Okay. Oh, what a long phrase. Anyway, I'll give it to you. No problem.
I think it was just one word.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. No problem. I'll give it to you. Yeah. So pegging your achievements. Let's, we want to peg it now. First, your pain is leaving the Labour Party. How do you mean? Briefly.
What happened is, I was walking out of 10 years plus, a sort of like, so to speak, relationship, 10 years plus experience, 10 years plus of investment, my own time. Walking out of all that was the most hardest decision I would ever made. It didn't come easy, but it was the most painful experience I can ever think. But at the same time, I knew that was for the best because nothing was getting better. So I just thought, I had to draw the line.
Okay, now you said becoming a local councillor was your empowerment. How do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Well, becoming a local councillor, it's when I realized simple people like myself make decisions on behalf of many others. And it's also when I realized, particularly where I'm from, many women have had no idea what it's like to become a councillor. So it has not just only empowered me, but empowered many, many others. And the fact that I could actually, sit on the same table and make a decision, and sometimes even, I don't want to sound like a big head, but I actually make a decision, better decision than my counterparts, was empowering for me, because I'm someone who came here as a refugee, someone who has had her life got interrupted many times in the past. And at the same time, I'm sitting and making decisions and debating with people who's from, kindergarten to university to their work, never had experience of the difficulties I come across, but at the same time, I'm debating with them. I think that was really, for me personally, quite an achievement.
And very empowering.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, talking about the gain, you said empowering Somali women into politics.
Yeah.
If I may ask, do you keep like a tab of how many Somali women are now in politics?
Yeah, I suppose it's 2, and another 2.
If you don't have the exact figure,
it's about 7 or 8. It's about 7 or 8 in the UK.
Wow, that's quite good. That's quite good. And is there a meeting point for you guys? Do you are able to connect, network?
Yeah, we all connect now and again. We used to connect, of course, before the pandemic often. But in this world of social media, we are often exchanging messages and empowering one another. So, yeah.
I usually on this show, if we have the time, I allow members of the audience, that is those who are on the Zoom, to ask you maybe 1 or 2 questions. I think we might be able to take 1 or 2 questions. I've asked you many that were put in the Q&A, but for those of you who are here as attendees on the WinAction show and you want to ask a direct question, if you please just click on the hand raise button, then I would allow you to speak and you can ask, you don't get this opportunity all the time. You can ask Councillor Rakia Ibrahim, Ismail, sorry. You can ask her any question briefly on how she's able to do it, get, into politics, be there, have a position, and still waxing, higher and higher. So if you have any question, you can please raise your hand. I would acknowledge you, allow you to ask it. Okay, so there is Aisha Shomoye. Please unmute yourself and ask Councillor Rekia, please.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. I would like to congratulate you, Councillor Rukaya, right?
Yeah.
My question is just, I know it's because you're a Somalian, that's why you're empowering Somali women into politics, but I'm just want to ask you, long term, do you have intention of empowering more women, not just specifically Somalian?
Yeah. Can I ask Aisha Shomoye where you're calling from? London or where? Where are you calling from?
London. I'm calling from London.
Yeah, you're in London. Okay, yeah, you're joining us in London. Okay, go on, please.
Assalamu alaikum, Asha. Lovely to
Thank you.
talk to you over the Zoom. Of course, I have first empowered Somali women, but as a matter of fact, I have empowered other women of different background, African, BMA, and also some white working class women I have empowered, and it's my intention to empower every woman who needs to be empowered, same way I have been empowered for many other women in the past. So I think we women have to empower each other and not just empower each other, but also, have the confidence to say, if you can do it, I can. And we need to really have that attitude, because I feel what I learned through my life recently is we are our worst enemies, women. Of course, there are institutions and that sort of and systems that really don't empower women, though they say they empower women. But no woman can ever be empowered if she and her other sisters are not empowering themselves first. So I'll be happy to empower many women who need to, go into politics or anything in life you want to do. We need to believe in ourselves. I can do the better job than my opposite, or I could do the same, but it's built within us, and we have to believe, because I sometimes feel like this has come from, a childhood upbringing that, we are not confident enough. No, we need to really say, this is the 21st century. We need to empower ourselves, because if you don't empower yourself, someone else will knock your confidence even further down the road.
Exactly. Thank you very much, Councillor Rakia, for that. There is a question in the Q&A I would like you to just answer as much as you can. The person is asking, why was it very painful for you to leave the Labour Party?
Thank you for asking that question. It was painful because I have been contemplating for 5 years whether to stay with the party or to leave the party because of long-standing issues that I wanted to address, and I have been blocked and I have been silenced, and I have actually been told in a group meeting that I should just keep quiet and sit there. So for me, I just felt like that's degrading. And that's why I had to walk out. And it was painful because I have invested so much in there and I'm walking out of all my investments. But at the same time, I just did not feel right that no one has the right to tell me keep quiet when I was talking about point of order. So I think it's also,
so
I'm a mom.
wasting that long period of investment into being a Labour Party councillor that made you make that decision, and that's why it's very painful for you.
Yeah, and also I'm a mom of 3 young women. If I put up with nonsense like that, then what message am I, sending to women? So it's easier sometimes, women, we need to just take a deep, hard look and say, is it worth it? I mean, it's quite degrading to just sit where you have been mistreated.
Now, the question is, I said I wasn't going to go into the politics of the discussion, but just so that we balance what is happening here. Now, that's your experience of the Labour Party. But some people would say, oh, the party you went to, is it any better? And especially if you are a Muslim woman, and some people do believe that there is no very good cordial relationship,
Yeah,
in
I
the
think
way
that's
the party treats Muslims and all that. So and yet you're a woman and you feel this, you're a Muslim woman and you feel this is where you should go to. So how do you balance that?
I think that's really fair question. I think how I balance is like, as a Muslim woman, as an ethnic minority woman, I don't think any of us should be just cut off to one party. Every party has faults. We know. And I don't want to go in great details, but you can find out the issues with the Labour Party. I just think for the next Muslim and the next ethnic minority generations, we cannot just be in one party, because if we are in one party, we would be always mistreated. And that's why we are there to change the party, whether it's the Conservative, Labour, Green, Lib Dems. We are there to change. We are not there to say, oh, that party has said bad things about me. I follow the Sunnah of Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, and so many bad things has happened to him. Does not mean that he never said, oh, I'm not going to talk to them. These people have mistreated me or mistreat others. We are there as Muslims, as women, as Black ethnic minority to take the lead and make a change.
Thank you very much for that. And I think there is a comment here that I would like to read. It says, I think engagement is needed in all levels of politics. Otherwise, change will not come along. I salute Councillor Rakia for making this hard decision and moving parties. May Allah make it a successful move and reward you for all your hard work. Yeah, that's really very good. And thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and yes, just before we go, I'm going to ask you to give your last comments or what you think you want to say to any woman out there at this moment who is not taking any action to achieve their dreams and their aspirations, who possibly have been dreaming for years to do exactly what you have done. What would you like to say to them?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I think what I would say to any woman who is out there, who hasn't reached her peak or final sort of like goal in life, what I would say is, A, you need to be really positive. B, you need to be really kind to yourself, because you're going to come across so many difficult people. And so many will be kind to you. So you really, and difficult at the same time, but I think the best advice I can give to women is like, you need to build up your confidence. No one can ever build your confidence. Do read, read about other women, what they have done. Be honest with yourself, be positive, be fair, and don't be scared, because the more we are scared, the more we stop our life. And that's 20 years, 5 years, 8 years down the line, we're going to say, oh, I wish I did that. There is no wrongs or rights about certain things in life, and in terms of achieving your ambition, your vision, your career. The only person that can really stop you is yourself, ourselves. We women stop ourselves, and that's all I can tell you, is like, just be confident, be fair, because at the end of the day, whatever you do in life, it's going to come back to you. So you need to look at yourself in the mirror and say, okay, can I live with this? And be fair, because at the end of the day, if you're not confident, you're not going to achieve anything in life. And confidence is something you work at it.
Yeah, thank you very much. We want to thank everyone that's been part of the show. Those of you watching on Facebook, there's a lot of people on Facebook, and they're all saying hello to you. Those of you watching us on YouTube, and those of you that have taken the time to actually join us in the Zoom session to talk about this important thing about being inspired, taking action, doing something. And Councillor Rakia did say something very important that I really want to take as my own take home today, as something that I want to add onto our pegboard of what has made these women that we have been talking with, especially women like Councillor Rakia, to achieve what they have achieved. And that is, she said it before, have positive attitude. Is very important. You need to be positive. You don't always have to negate everything that you think about. The moment you're thinking about it, you are negating it. You're telling yourself, oh, even though I want to do this, I don't think I'll be able to achieve it. That is not being positive. You need to be positive. And that is what this show is about, the WinAction. Women in action. Women in action are women who are positive. And that's why I'm saying to you today, if you have not taken anything out of our discussion, forget all the politics about Labor, Conservative. That's not the purpose of this show. The purpose of this show is actually to inspire us as women and to make sure that we can actually take steps to impact our community, improve our own personal life, and make people around us, our children, our family, our relatives, those who are our neighbors, make them proud and be very impactful to them. And she also said something that whenever you're doing all these things, you need to look around you. Look around you for inspiration. Look around you for people that are actually encouraging you to do whatever it is that you set your mind at. So today on the WinAction show, we've had with us Councillor Rakia Ismail, who is a councillor at Islington and also a member of the Conservative Party, who was also formerly a member of the Labour Party. And what she's been saying to us from the beginning of this show up to this moment is what? Be positive. Do something about your dream. And thank you very much, Councillor. And I do hope that you keep impacting the community, keep inspiring women, and keep doing good. And on that note, I would like to end today's show. And until I see you possibly next week with another inspirational woman, it is Women in Action. And as you're leaving this show now, you need to take action about your dream.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, sister.
Thank you very much for being inspired.
Oh my God.